This video contains information that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are a viewer and are triggered or shocked by images and need a warning prior to every clip or story being discussed, then please unsubscribe from my channel immediately. My channel covers the harsh reality of even the worst crimes imaginable and is for adults only. For those of you who fit into this category, take this message as your warning and don't watch any further. Hello everybody, what's going on? Yep, no improvement today, but what the hell, huh? Gotta still do a show. I got rid of last night's show because I didn't like it. I don't like the delays and listen, I'm not feeling great, so I'm probably gonna get way more grumpy on stupid shit than I normally do, okay? So last night's show was just ruined. You know, looking around and doing all this kind of shit for things that we already knew, and you know, oh, that's right. And then somebody posted today, "God, you always bitching, Gray." Well, yeah, I do bitch because I want people to actually, you know, try to keep the show rolling along instead of distracting from it. All right, yeah, let's see what the hell's the deal. Oh yeah, so the thing is, on the wound on the back of my neck, the glue came out on the bottom part of it, so it's not healing as good as the top part, so that stings. And then my fingers are way more numb than they were before. So anyways, the surgeon doctor is going to do a sort of a quicker telemedicine thing tomorrow. You know, it's just, I don't know, I just feel like I'm not feeling the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing, you know? Like normally you see the light, like things get better slowly, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just not feeling great. Yeah, well, hey. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to wake up one morning and go, oh, wow, okay, there you go. Nah, I'm resting all day, every day, so. I always think it's funny when people tell me what I'm not doing. Yeah, I'm just sitting still all day, every day. Yeah. So anyways, what do we got here? We got a couple updates before we do the New Mexico thing. I don't want to, you know, I'll just try to, hopefully I'll get better, and one of these days I'll let you know, okay? Seems like every time when I talk about it, the more I bring it up because people keep asking. But it's really, it's weird not being able to reach up in the air or grip something. It's a strange feeling. Well, those always help, Kit Kat, but mainly helps out the charities at the end of the month. But thank you. All right. So you guys remember that one case that a lot of people have sensationalized over the years? The one of Amina and Sarah. I've talked about it on here, where they
maybe a freak wave would help women surfing.
You know, where you had the 911 call when she said, you know, basically said that her dad's shooting him and that I'm dying, that's what's up, she said on there. I mean, it was really messed up to hear that. And this guy was always on the FBI most wanted list. Yasser Abdel Saeed. I mean, he's a freaking barbarian. you know, the honor-killing bullshit type, you know. So he, you know, they finally arrested the guy. It's pretty amazing. I mean, this happened in 2008, and they finally arrested him. Hey, thanks, One Sly Angel. Yasser Abdel Saeed, a capital murder suspect wanted in connection with the homicide of his 2 teenage daughters, Amina and Sarah, was taken into custody without incident today in Justin. So where is Justin? Is that in Texas? Never heard of it. Now, wouldn't that be weird if he was here the whole time? Just hiding out in the community kind of thing? Wow. Yeah, I figured it's Texas. That's why I just found it.
Wade from New Mexico.
Yeah, thanks. You know, sometimes people ask rhetorical questions, you know? Like if I said to you guys, God, why did it have to rain today? I hope you wouldn't jump in with, well, the cumulus stratus clouds were forming, and it created a convection where the, you know, I'm not really wanting to know that. Okay, so they were both arrested in, I mean, he was arrested in Texas. Kind of makes you wonder if he was there hidden that entire time. At this time, Irving police said the motive for the murders was unclear. Well, it was obvious what the murder was. They weren't acting like, you know, good, I don't know what, you know, they weren't acting culturally appropriately. So he was embarrassed by them, and he killed them. It was definitely honor killing. There is no doubt in my mind whatsoever. He's a freaking nut job. So on January 1st, 2008, the Irving Department opened a murder investigation into 2 young girls who were found shot to death. Since that night, the members of the Irving Police Department and our partners with the Dallas FBI have tirelessly pursued justice for Amina and Sarah, said Irving Police Chief Jeff Spivey. Even after 12 years of frustration and dead ends, the pursuit for their killer never ceased. Today's arrest of their father, Yasser Saeed, brings us closer to ensuring justice is served on their behalf. Based on an investigation by the Irving Police Department on January 2nd, 2008, a capital murder, multiple warrants was issued for Saeed's arrest. I think if you go to the, let's see, FBI 10 most wanted. I've seen him on there. Yeah, there he is right there. Well, I mean, he was always on the top 10 list, and bang! Now they have captured. The FBI also announced Wednesday evening that 2 more arrests were made, and these are probably people for harboring a fugitive. Islam Saeed, his son. You know what's amazing? Because I remember watching Fox News back then, because, you know, CNN wouldn't cover a case so culturally sensitive. I remember Greg Jarrett went to the house, and the son, I remember that specifically, came out and, you know, was absolutely, you could tell he was covering something up. It was amazing. And so now they mentioned that they've arrested the son and the suspect's brother. They both face charges for harboring fugitive. There you go. Search for Saeed was coordinated by the FBI Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, which is comprised of FBI special agents and officers from the Carrollton, Dallas. Let me see something if I can find their.
What's going on, man? Irving Fire Department. Ma'am, are you still there? Ma'am, are you still there? All I've got is she's telling me she's dying. I've got a, why are you still there, ma'am? Ma'am, what is your address? Ma'am.
The cab in our cab stand. It doesn't appear that there's a driver, but there are two people inside the cab, one in the passenger seat and one in the rear of the vehicle. One of the people in the passenger seat looks like she's hunched over and she has blood coming.
Yeah, so her dad just took her in the cab, both of them in the cab, and shot both of them. And that was the 911 call. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And that barbarian's been free since 2008. Well, thanks, Michelle. I wouldn't call it a wave. I'd call it a, what do you call it? More of a rock falling into a puddle.
Riding the wave of love and donations.
But
Hit
thank
the
you,
thumbs
Michelle
up, thumbs
Nicholas.
up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Run, yeah, Ripple, yeah. He was on the run, I think. Well, I think he was just hiding in the community, you know? That's what I think. I don't think he was running around. I think he was kind of in a place all those years, and it's amazing. I don't even think he ever left the country. I think he was just sort of been in that area the whole time. Okay, now you guys remember this one here. This is a case that we covered on here. Wednesday marks 11 years since murder. Virginia Tech students Heidi Childs and David Metzler. Remember, they were that couple that was just kind of at a park. I mean, I actually have it. I remember having it in here. Let's see. Yeah, right there. And I think it was just right here, actually, in this little. Okay, there's no street view there. Thanks, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock. Yeah, so they were in this area right here, parked, and somebody just came up and killed them. And they've never solved it.
Searching for answers 11 years later.
The murders of two Virginia Tech students have not been solved, but new leads in this case continue to come in.
As 10 News reporter Annie Schroeder.
And by the way, any of you in the eye of that, you know, in the wake or in the way of the damn hurricane coming in, I feel bad for you. That's a big one. Yeah, well, sometimes it's an entire culture, Cairo, you know, like it's not just zealots. You know, sometimes it's just the way it is.
Reports, investigators are asking one thing of the community decades after the crime.
On August 26, 2009, David Metzler and Heidi Childs went to Caldwell Fields and...
For example, Sunni Muslims are more likely to do honor killings, especially different villages and so forth out there.
Montgomery County and never returned. Special Agent Scott Mitchell with Virginia State Police says someone out there knows what happened to them.
We're asking those people who have information, and you do know who you are, come forward with that information. Please.
I wouldn't say it was...
The two Virginia Tech students were found shot to death in Jefferson National Forest. No arrest has ever been made. During a news conference Wednesday, investigators called on the community for help with potential leads.
Because I've actually gone on, you can watch videos, it's crazy. I mean, literal, like, I mean, there's story after story after story after story after story. Wow, that's too bad, man. Maybe you got lucky there, Cairo. I'm just talking about over there, okay? It's not really that funny. You know?
In the case.
All right,
for the sake of Heidi and David, for Heidi and David's families, their parents, their
Sunni, though, are
friends,
the more radical version.
please come forward with your information.
Last year, state
More
police launched a
extreme
new
version of
website and
Islam.
announced a $100,000 reward for any tips leading to an arrest. Mitchell says there are still people in Montgomery County who know more about what happened to David and Heidi.
Wait, why'd that stop? It just kind of quit playing.
There is more fallout tonight for a prominent evangelical leader.
Hold on, let me play this one.
searching for answers 11 years later.
The murders of two Virginia Tech students have not been solved, but new leads in this case continue to come in.
As 10 News reporter Annie Schroeder reports, investigators are asking one thing of the community decades after the crime.
On August 26th.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely say it's not the norm to be, do the honored killings and all that. But there is, it's sort of like, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like in the Mormon community, how there's still those people that believe in bigotry, or not bigotry, polygamy. Yeah, there's still people that believe that. But it's a little bit more common, the honor killing stuff, than that. Okay? But it's like the majority don't do that. Okay? I'm just saying, it's still something, and it's in that the whole shame thing, dishonoring your family, that literally is still prevalent. Okay? They just don't follow through with the killings as much anymore. Okay? But it's weird because all the dishonoring are things that we would consider like normal. Oh, wow, you date a white person or something. All of a sudden, oh my God, it's horrible. I'm not saying it's like that all around the world, but over there it is, right? Like if you lived in Saudi Arabia and you dated and you're part of a family, and you dated a white woman, there definitely would be some issues there. Yeah, the Wahhabism is the one where you see them stone people to death, right? I've seen that shit. It's crazy. You know what's amazing about it too? This is real, what I'm about to tell you here. So let's say a woman cheats on her husband with a guy, right? Well, what they'll do is they'll take the guy and the girl and they wrap them in a sheet and they bury the woman up to her neck in the dirt, and then they bury the guy up to his waist. Okay, then they choose rocks, and the rocks can't be too big as to kill them with one throw, but they can't be too little as to not inflict any damage. So what the deal is they start throwing the rocks at them to kill them, but if you can squirm out of your hole, you get to live. Okay, well, look how they set it up, where the guy, he's got a good chance to get out of there, right? He's up to his waist, he squirms, oh, I'm out of here. Where the woman has no chance in hell to get out of there. Okay, zero. And she ends up dying every time. Yeah, go to like Live Leak and watch the sort of village videos on this shit. It's disgusting. All right. And to even have that kind of mindset whatsoever is scary. And you know how it works over there too. If a woman gets raped, she has to have, I think it's something like 2 witnesses to every one the guy has to have. Oh, but they're equal, right? The women? Yeah. Well, we don't let them drive. Okay, well then, it's the most hypocritical bullshit I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay.
2009, right. David Metzler.
Now let's get back to this one.
11 years later.
The murders of 2 Virginia Tech students have not been solved, but new leads in this case continue to come in.
As 10 News reporter Annie Schroeder reports, investigators are asking one thing of the community decades after the crime.
On August 26, 2009, David Metzler and Heidi Childs went to Caldwell Fields in Montgomery County and never returned. Special Agent Scott Mitchell with Virginia State Police says someone out there knows what happened to them.
We're asking those people who have information, and you do know who you are, come forward with that information, please.
The 2 Virginia Tech students were found shot to death in Jefferson National Forest. No arrest has ever been made. During a news conference Wednesday, investigators called on the community for help with potential leads in the case.
For the sake of Heidi and David, for Heidi and David's families, their parents, their friends, Please come forward with your information.
Last year, state police launched a new website and announced a $100,000 reward for any tips leading to an arrest. Mitchell says there are still people in Montgomery County who know more about what happened to David and Heidi.
We've had a plethora of information to come in via telephone calls, tips, online, and we have followed multiple.
This is a weird case because they were just hanging out.
A tremendous amount of people.
Really good kids, you know, like the really wholesome kind of kids. And then somebody comes up with a rifle and I think shoots both of them.
Police say the investigation is still very active and has never been considered a cold case, emphasizing now is the chance to bring justice to David and Heidi's friends and family, even after all these years.
If it were their family members or friends,
and yes, as I already said, like what Cairo just said, yes, the majority don't do that. However, the sentiment is there. Okay, so the thing is, the majority don't do that. But the dishonoring notion is there, okay, where those same kinds of things don't dishonor anybody in a non-Muslim culture, right? Like dating somebody that's not Muslim doesn't dishonor anybody anywhere, right? But that still dishonors everybody. They just don't believe in they won't stone you to death anymore, okay? Yeah, I just don't. Well, why we would even disown somebody? Why can't people just love whoever the hell they want to love? You know, it's just
would have in our own hearts, and so we can also imagine that in the communities affected where this took place, the unknowns of, can I go out at night? Can I keep my door unlocked?
Annie Schroeder, 10 News, working for you.
So at this point, anyone with any potential information.
Yeah, I did an entire show on that case one time. Or at least it was part of a larger show. But okay, now we're moving on to another case that somebody sent me. So I'll start back. There was only one article that I could find on it because it was a Jane Doe. It says, sheriff authorities Thursday were trying to determine the identity of a woman whose bullet-ridden body was found Wednesday. A bank. I don't know, I think it meant like on a bank of a canal west of Vero Beach. The woman, reported to be in her late 20s, died from gunshot wounds to her upper chest, according to an autopsy report. Sheriff's officials Thursday continued their investigation into the death. This is 1982, okay? The body, which had been shot 4 times, was discovered by two sightseers who had stopped at a canal bridge mid-afternoon Wednesday to look for alligators. An autopsy report revealed that the clothed body apparently had been in the canal about 12 miles west of Interstate 95 for about 16 hours. The report also stated that the brown-haired woman's body, then it says 3/3 of which, and 3/3 of which, well, 3/3 is all, okay, so that, I think they meant 2/3 or something. 3/3 of which was submerged in the canal on the north side of the highway. May have been there since late Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. I knew that one would make you laugh there, Cairo. I was going, here he goes. 3 divers from the South Indian River County Fire Department were unable to find any belongings in the 8-foot deep canal that could help identify the woman. Could you imagine going scuba diving in there to find something where there's alligators just all over the place? Yeah. The 5'5", 130-pound body was clothed in jeans, a sleeveless pullover shirt, and stockings. Authorities wouldn't comment about the size, bullet, or type of gun they suspect may have been used. There were no signs of violence or a struggle at the scene, Sheriff's Office said. A statewide bulletin of the woman's description has been issued. We haven't heard anything back. Okay, now this is the later years. This has been out there. Unidentified missing person. This is what they say she looked like. She had this jewelry on. The Indian River County Sheriff's Office is attempting to identify the above victim. She was found deceased on September 1st, 1982 on SR 60, several miles west of I-95 in Indian River County. I think I actually found the location here. And it made complete sense, so I'd be shocked if it's not here. So what they said was it was a certain amount of miles, I think 12 miles from this town. And look at that, look how crazy this is. I think they said something like 12 miles from this town. So you go here, and then I went 12 miles over, and or it might have been, I don't remember if it was 10 or 12, whatever they said, but I was over here like this. Actually, I don't even know if that was the town. I think it was over here. Yeah, it was Vero Beach, excuse me. Yeah, so it was right here. That was from a different case. Isn't that wild? Another pin right there. Okay, but look at that. That's like 17 miles right there. And if you cut across, and then there's this canal right here. Whatever it was, it landed me right here. And then you go over, and there's this bridge that they're talking about. You know, they probably were looking into the water off this little bridge here and then spotted the body right down in the water there. Right? Doesn't that make complete sense? And then here's the article from today. Detectives connect cold case to Washington County. Ask for help. Detectives from Florida are in Eastern Carolina asking for help in identifying the victim in a 1982 cold case. The woman found dead in a canal in River Beach, Florida, but they believe she was from Washington County. For 38 years, it has been a mystery as to who she is and who killed her. They do have a suspect in the county. There has been a person of interest in the case since 1982, but no case was ever made back then. Casanari said the suspect was near the area her body was dumped. He had just burned his semi-truck only hours before. Yeah, because everybody does that, right? I mean, everybody burns their semi-truck nightly, right? Just to make sure that there's no lice or anything in it. Yeah, initial detectives also found evidence of a long piece of hair inside the semi-truck, but they weren't able to DNA test it at the time. But now, the modern technology, they are now trying to match the DNA from the piece of hair found to, I mean, wouldn't that be amazing? To the victim's hair. The new depiction of Jane Doe and the detective's partnership with Washington County Sheriff's Office could also propel the case. There's a family that's missing a loved one. At least it would bring them some type of closure, said Johnny Barnes, the sheriff in Washington County. The detectives were in the area this past weekend to interview the suspect. Though he denies knowing the victim, Casanari says he hopes any help from people who can identify the picture of the woman can help. They say an associate of the suspect from the area may have recognized the woman in a composite photo. I don't know if this is...
The first day of our community classroom effort for you to have the opportunity to pitch in.
Yeah, I don't think that's about this. So let me load that up again originally. About 12 miles west of Interstate 95. Okay, so it's 12 miles west of Interstate 95. So I think that's what... Let's try that again. Let me just make sure. Jesus. Alright, so there is Interstate 95 right there. So they said about 12 miles. So I think it's a little bit less. I have it at like 10, you know. Because I don't know if you go a little bit further. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's is that still the canal? Well, maybe that's it right there. Look at that. Let's go 12 then. Let's try that again. So that's Interstate 95. And then 12 is right there. Oh, there you go. I'm going to switch it. I think that might be it. Because that looks like another bridge that looks into a canal. And it's right at the 12-mile mark. I feel good about that. There we go. And it just happens to line up perfectly with another little bridge. All right. Isn't that crazy? So you kind of just immediately think of trucker. I mean, shit, you get out here at 3 in the morning, there's going to be a soul, right? You just pull up here, throw her body into the canal, and then keep on going. And wouldn't that be amazing if the strand of hair actually, what they need to do is see if they can identify that strand of hair and see if it matches the Jane Doe, then do genealogy on the DNA on the hair. They should be able to get it. I mean, there's another one here, but this one's right on the 12 miles. So we'll just go with that. So that's it for those. Crazy though, huh? Hopefully they can make some sort of a match. It's just amazing how many cases are just sort of out there, you know, just Jane Does, missing persons that are likely dead, just never found. I mean, you know, every time when they go by and they find a body on the side of a freeway, you know, like in the woods, 50 feet off the woods, because some county worker or hunter found it. Well, think of how many more weren't found. I would say we're only seeing like 10%, right? I mean, it's not even close. Because there's so many missing people that never get found and are never seen again. There are thousands and thousands of people. It's crazy. Oh, you know, then today, you know what I was doing? You guys have probably heard of it, because I hadn't, though. The Sodder siblings. Sodder. That's a pretty weird one. I was looking all into it, because I thought, wow, I've never even heard of this. And then it turns out that all these people have looked into it. So now I probably won't be talking about it. Yeah, but it's a pretty weird case. Yeah, it's the one in West Virginia. I saw that later, after I already did all the research. I mean, look at this right here. Watch. Look at all these files I went and got, right? And after I did that, I saw that, hell, even Lorden covered it. I mean, it's been covered by, you know, a jillion people, so I'm not going to do it. You know, after I spent 3 hours. It gets kind of, it's lame. Well, I don't know why they don't go back out there now. Because basically what this is there was a fire at a house at night. I think 4 family members got out, but apparently 5 of them got burned. They say burned alive in the house. And they never really found any bones. They did get somebody out there to excavate one time. What they did was the fire only lasted for 45 minutes. And at the end, they just sort of deemed the children dead in there and then sort of covered it up and made it sort of a grave site for the kids, but they never really checked on it. Then years later, they went and did a excavation and found some vertebrae, but there was no burn marks on them or anything, and they don't even know how those got there. They don't know where those vertebrae are now because the father got them back after. Yeah, it's pretty weird. So why don't they go out there now, like an archaeological team, and just go through the whole thing again? I mean, do it. You know, try to go in there and find the bones. Because there was a lot of crazy shit in that case, you know, a ladder, in a weird place, different things going on. So, and you know, one thing I did notice though, that I don't see covered a lot, is that the father, I think his name is George Sodder, he was absolutely like litigation happy. He was everywhere. I mean, every time you look his name up in the paper, it's like, okay, he's got a lawsuit against this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And you sort of wonder, did he do something to those kids for some sort of insurance deal? But then why would he be claiming that they didn't die? You know, so that takes away that angle. But it's just a lot of weird shit in that case. Hey, thanks, Chrissy Paradis. But man, you wouldn't believe it. He's like every 90% of the time that George Sodder comes up is because he's in a lawsuit with somebody else about something. And he's the only, trust me when I say, he's the only George Sodder that lived in Lafayette in 1945. Okay, there isn't going to be two of them. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Man Gray.
Could have been aliens, you know. We guess we just don't know. I just kind of stumbled across it too. I think I was looking up. Yeah, what the hell was I looking up? Oh yeah, it was. Here's where I found it. I went to the Doe network, and then I was just kind of scrolling through, and I got down to here, and it said M Sodder, J Sodder, B Sodder. And then I was like, oh, okay, let me check that out. So it's interesting that the Doe network still considers them missing. You know, like it's not solved. But I think that I'm going to go through some of these Doe network ones. Thanks, Daudio Caspian Horses Rock. Got to make up for. We're a little. What are we at right now? I think we're like We're going to be like $1,000 less than last month, but that's all right. I wasn't here for 3 days. Oh man, I was just making fun of somebody that said any updates on Delphi. I always think it's crazy when people come in and that's all they ever think about. It's like, you know, yes, I think of the Delphi case too. Okay. It isn't the only case out there. Try to broaden your horizons a little bit. You know, think of other cases and then get involved with those. Maybe you can help out there. And then someday, when there's an actual update, I'll let you know. Oh, that's why you said it? Oh, okay. I must have mentioned that then. Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it, Layla. All right. Pretty good. That was drier humor than I'm used to. Very clever, very clever. Good job, Layla. I have to give Layla some brownie points there. Yeah. Yeah.
We need a Kit Kat inspired wave.
That was just, it was above, that wasn't really girl code. It was really high level dry humor. You know, just deadpan. There was no... Thanks, Allison R. and Chrissy Paradis. And Layla, my Layla. Yeah. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. No, it's, yeah, if you say LE out loud, I don't care if somebody types in LE or on. Yeah, it's when people literally are talking, they go, hey, I spoke to LE today, and what they said was, do you know how stupid that sounds? Honestly, it's... if you literally are at the point where you're saying LE out loud in a conversation referring to law enforcement, then there's something wrong with you. Okay? And I mean severely. Because nobody else is going to know what you're talking about. Like, go golfing with somebody, and they're let's say they're a stockbroker or something, and you're just having a conversation. You go, oh my God, have you heard about that case? Well, listen, LE said that and they're going to go, what are you talking about? What the hell's LE? Oh, you're not cool. Okay, you're not cool. Okay, I get it. Yeah, it's law enforcement. All right, let me just let you know all the little acronyms I know so that I can act really cool and neat and inside. Yeah. No, I'm not angry at all, Joni. Are you? This is just my humor here. Do you see how people are laughing and shit like that? What's wrong with you? I think Joni Sullivan's got a mental issues, obviously. Yeah, that next presser when LE is going to let us know and I'm going to come in. What I'm going to say is great. I'm angry, but because I think I'm like, oh boy, he didn't take that bait. He didn't do it. Oh boy. Yeah, Joni Sullivan's one of those people that, you know, they're the moral compass of the entire true crime community. They have it all dialed in. And if you don't say things exactly the way she would, oh, the outrage. She'll make a post about you on Facebook and let everybody know how you didn't say something exactly the way she would. Yeah. No, you can leave her there. I don't give a shit. She's never has anything valuable to say, so it's okay. It's just one of those people that scroll by. It's a view, you know. Joni Sullivan's one of those people that just counts as a view. There's nothing, you don't get anything valuable about anything that she contributes to any show of any kind, on any date, on any case. Okay, it's just one of those troll YouTuber types. Yeah. Yeah, she's one of the types that support criminals on YouTube, you know? Like, literally, she'll support a criminal because they're so neato and cool. Da-da-da-da-da. Hey, thanks, Ladobby and Raven187. Uh-oh, I just got sent to jail.
Get in jail, Gray. Naughty, naughty. Kissing smile with a halo.
Yep, just got sent to jail here. Gray, you're such a bully. Did you see? Now, how about this? Don't come into somebody else's show and start bashing it. Yep, see that? You're in trouble. Of course, Joni. Of course. Of course, Joni. I think you're in trouble, too. I'm going to have to remove you from the channel pretty soon. Oh, well. I should play the song You're in Trouble by Rat. Oh, I don't want to... Yeah, I'm doing that so perfectly that eventually it's going to... I'll get a strike for sounding so close to the original. Sorry, I can't do it anymore. As fast as lightning and the gun... Oh, there you go. I got some bail money there. Look at that. Free at last. Free at last.
Thank God Almighty! Free at last. Thank you. I think I got some of that. Have you guys heard of Zoltarin? It seems to work pretty good. I just put it on my neck and stuff. Oh, I know, Joni Sullivan. I'm fantastic. Oh, God, yeah. I'm Thank you, Jessica Schubach, Allison R., Dadio Caspi, Norses Rock, Cairo, and One Sly Angel. And thank you very much, too, Joni Sullivan. It's always trolls like you who actually help the channel out dramatically. And YouTube as well. As they get 30%. I think it's called Zoltarin. It used to be you had to get a prescription. If you want the 2%, you need a prescription, but 1% is over the counter. What was funny is I got a prescription for the 1%, and it was going to cost $60.
Bail out money because I think you're spot on.
Oh, hey. Listen to how crazy this is. It was going to be $60 for 1% Zoltarin at the pharmacy because they don't cover it because now it's over the counter. And then I asked, well, how much does the over-counter version cost? $10. What idiots. Hey, pharmacy, why didn't you just say it's 10? At least you would have got the 10. Okay, Voltaren, whatever the hell it is. It's something with Terran in it, okay? Just go ask for, hey, do you got any Terran? Oh, no, do it like, let's see.
Free at last.
Army of Darkness. Do it the same way. Go like this. Do you have any Terran? Oh, you mean Voltaren. Or Zoltaran, whatever the hell it is, right? Just do a little cough and throw it in there.
Commissary money.
Well, I bought it, so I know what it's called. Yeah, thanks. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Do you have any Terran? Think that would work? Yeah, well, what's cool about there's a website. What's that one? Like web or some kind of a service out there that makes drugs so much cheaper. I can't remember what it's called. Like shit. It's an app of some sort. No, it's not an anti-allergen. It's an anti-inflammatory that goes through the skin. So, and I think a lot of my problem is that nerve root is really inflamed and tender. I really feel like that's it, you know? Because I've actually moved my arm around and it sort of wiggles in a wrong way and it's like this little creepy... Only people that have had nerve issues know exactly what I'm talking about. It's this really weird feeling. You know, I get these pulsating shit in the fingers. And yeah, everybody, become a channel member if you're out there. Of course, tonight we probably have mainly channel members watching. Okay, moving on to the New Mexico. Oh wait, I'm on the screen here, right? Yeah. So I don't know if you guys can see, but I got like there's a band-aid on this back. Ah, shit. See, it's right here that I can feel something, and then it kind of goes down behind my arm and everything. There we go. Nah, I'm not. Yeah, I've heard that case.
It's just so boring to me, that case, the Dutch women in Panama. It's mind-bogglingly boring. Okay? I hope it gets solved someday, but I don't ever want to talk about it. Hey, why don't you leave Johnny Danger on there? That's the song, Rat. You know, that's Rat, Out of the Cellar, right? R-A-T-T. That's what he was doing, right, Johnny Danger? Okay, I gotta like that. Let's sit back a little bit. Oh. Okay, well, if you keep saying it over and over, get rid of him. If you're just doing it over and over, then you're a troll at that point. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the New Mexico cold cases. The first one is Jennifer Pentia. Okay. And last seen in Deming, New Mexico on 10/17/91. Was heading for Las Cruces with the possibility of going into Mexico. Is biking on her white Fuji mountain bike with backpack and camping gear. Jennifer Lynn Pentia, 5'5", 125 pounds, blonde hair, mole on her left forearm. If anyone has seen her, please call collect. And those are the numbers, but that was back in 1991. Okay. All right. So now we're moving towards, this is January 10th, 1992, so about 2 months later. More than anything in the world, Lynn Harris hopes her daughter is safe in Mexico's embrace. Harris has not heard from her daughter since October 17th, when Jennifer called home, collect, from a payphone in Sagebrush town of Deming, in southwest corner of New Mexico. So maybe we'll do that. Okay, so there's Deming, New Mexico. That's where she called her mom from. Yeah, so it's southwest corner, just like they said. I think the worst thing is just not knowing where she is, Harris told the Missoulian in an interview Thursday. It's something that gnaws at you all the time. Jennifer Pentia, a mature 18-year-old who recently had moved to Missoula, so Montana, right, from Great Falls, flew out of Missoula this fall, bound for San Diego. She took her mountain bike, $450, and a profound desire to travel deep into the Mexican countryside to help the poor. Although her mother and stepfather had tried to persuade her otherwise, Jennifer traveled by herself. And she traveled by bike. I mean, that's insane, all the distances she was going. She told me before she left that she wouldn't be alone, that God would be traveling with her, Lynn Harris said. I think she may have had a little too much faith in the man upstairs. Harris has had little choice over the past 18 months but to question her own faith. In October 1990, her first husband, Nick, this is the mother, by the way, Nick Pentia, died of heart problems and leukemia. He was 44. Jennifer told me that it was meant to be, that God had work for Nick to do in heaven, Harris said. I deal with it by... Let's got to get to the next page. By thinking that he isn't suffering. A year later, after marrying a man she dated in high school and moving her family to Missoula, Lynn Harris' world had been rocked again by the possible loss of her oldest daughter. Nick used to be on my mind all the time, she said. Now Jennifer is taking over. All I hear in the back of my mind, no matter where I go, is Jennifer. It just isn't time for God to take her. The day Jennifer left for San Diego, Harris had a fleeting thought that she would never see her daughter again, but from October 1st to October 13th, Jennifer called her mother 8 times. So just always kept checking in, just to let her know how the trip was going. Jennifer had planned to ride south and east from San Diego, then south to Hermosillo. From there, she would ride south to Guadalajara, a distance of nearly 900 miles. A passionate idealist with deep religious feelings, Jennifer envisioned helping the poor along the way to spread God's word. On October 17th, Jennifer called her mother from Deming, New Mexico, about 30 miles north of the Mexican border. Apparently, she'd been told that Mexico held danger for a girl biking alone. Instead, she would bike to Minnesota to see her best friend. So she changed her plans. She was going to go biking to Minnesota. That's what she talked to her mom about. Complete opposite direction. I had a hard time believing that she would change her mind like that, Harris said of her daughter, but I was a little relieved that she might be headed towards home. Jennifer said she would call in a few days from Las Cruces, and Harris expected to hear from her on the 19th, Harris's birthday. The call never came. Authorities in the area were notified, and on November 14th, Lynn Harris and her husband Jim traveled to Deming. They spent 6 days traveling the back roads, visiting pawn and bicycle shops, and posting flyers. Is that idiot? Is this stupid? What's going on with this Joni guy? Person, whatever the hell it is. It's like right out of X-Files or something. Yeah, well, I'm sure Deming is a bad place, but this one's Deming. Yeah, so, yeah, she's just kind of just disappeared all of a sudden, right? And then in 1992, later in the year, September, listen to this. State police were searching an area near Hatch today after a missing woman's bicycle helmet, wallet, and other items were found under a mesquite tree. See, this is, I think it's really ominous that her bicycle helmet and all this stuff. Jennifer Lynn Pentia, 19, disappeared 11 months ago while bicycling in Deming. Her bicycle has not been found, so her bike is still missing. A couple who were dove hunting found the items about 2 miles off of New Mexico 26 near Hatch. Okay, so let's go to Hatch. And let's see if would that make sense that she was heading to Minnesota. I mean, it could. I mean, that is the direction. So let's see. It would. I mean, it's at least you're heading in that direction on sort of a northern. I mean, it's thousands of miles away at that point. Let me see something. So 2 miles off New Mexico 26 near Hatch. So there's 20. I just saw 26 there. Okay, that's 26 right there. And does it keep going up this way? Does that count? No. Well, that's New Mexico 26. So somewhere around in this area. See? And then let's go. Yeah, so that is kind of like the general direction, right? I mean, so there's Minnesota up here, and apparently she was going to bike up there. So here you go. She was right there, and then you know, if you kind of even if you just drew a line like that, you kind of end up up in this area. So I don't know. Maybe she was starting to head that direction, and somebody in that town did something. Who knows? So, State Police Agent John, I don't know if it's Holguin, said he and another officer searched the area for about 3 hours this week and found a small lantern, map, and some jars of food under the tree. Pentia, a Montana native, had ridden her bicycle from San Diego to Lemming and was planning to bike into Mexico to do missionary work, said her mother. But remember, she changed her mind, right? But Pentia called her mother, oh, here it is, later and said she instead planned to ride to Minneapolis, or to Minnesota to visit a friend. Pentia told her mother she would call when she determined her final plans, but Harris never heard from her daughter again. Harris said hearing that her daughter's possessions were found excited me, but I'm scared. I think I'd be scared to have my child's possessions found, but not them. And at this time she said, we still believe she's alive. Parents and policemen await news of Missoula Jennifer Lynn Pentia. So this is about 2 years later. 3 years later, actually. She hasn't been seen or heard from since October 17th, 1991, the day she called her mother from a Shell gas station in Deming. I wonder if that's, let's see. Well, maybe there's no, Shell, sometimes they change the stations now. So I don't know. There's a Valero, Chevron. So somewhere around in there. Yeah. So are you guys interested in what we're talking about here, or? Yeah, I think it's kind of weird that a girl that age is on a bike pedaling around the entire country. Basically, I mean, thousands of miles she's planning on biking. Okay, a lot of the comments were unrelated. Nearly a year had passed when two dove hunters walking in the Scrub County near Hatch, New Mexico, found what turned out to be Jennifer's camping equipment stacked neatly under a mesquite tree. So there's no reason she would just left that behind, right? The find generated increased interest in the case, but eventually it led nowhere. It looked really promising for a short while, but it never put us close to anybody. On April 4th, Jennifer's birthday and Christmas, the Harris family runs... Well, let me see if there's anything else in this one. I'm going to switch to the next one, 1998. So they actually were on the show Maury, like Povich. Remember that one? She's 18 years old. And then this is 1999 here. Lynn Harris has not heard from her daughter for nearly 7.5 years, but the message on her answering machine contains a plea for the girl to leave a message so Harris can find her and bring her home. Right. So there's really, I mean, some of this... 15 years later, missing girl, Great Falls grad's mother searches and hopes. It's just, it sucks, It's like there's just all these years later and they're still searching. Let's see. Months after graduated from Great
Falls High, the young missionary flew with a new mountain bike, a graduation gift to San Diego. From there, the intrepid 18-year-old was to embark on a solo bicycle trip to Mexico, where she planned to join missionary groups to help the poor. As far as her family knows, Pentia never made it to the border, and she never came home. 14 years ago this week, the Great Falls Tribune ran a front-page story about Pentia's disappearance. She was last heard from when, after a detour, she called her mother from a gas station in Deming, New Mexico. Dozens of sightings, tips, and disappointments later, Pentia's family hasn't given up hope that she could be found alive. Man, you guys are incredible. When there's a wave in here, for the coffee, it just, like, you literally squash the ocean where it doesn't even tick. Like it's a glass ocean. No, her body's never been found. She just, basically, they found her camping gear. They've never found her or her bike. So it's almost like she had a little camping place that she was at. And then she, took the bike out to do something, maybe go to the town for a moment, but had her camping spot. And something happened to her on that trip. Because it'd be weird if somebody came and abducted her and her bike, So it seems like she must have been out on her own somewhere. There you go. There's Kit Kat. Thanks, Kit Kat. Yeah, something like that. If you ain't pity. Because to me, it's also a little bit strange though that they found her helmet though, right? So why did they find her helmet? Wouldn't she have worn her helmet to? Maybe she was just kind of leisurely biking around near where she was camping.
Making some waves cool.
Well, thanks for making some waves. Yeah. Her junior year in high school, she traveled through an exchange program to Ivory Coast in Africa. I mean, so she was a really, fearless type person. Right after graduation, Pentia traveled to Mexico with a teen group to paint churches and feed the poor. Moved by the experience, she decided to return alone in the fall, brushing off
here throwing kisses.
Brushing off her mother's warning about danger of a solo trip. Thanks, Wally Gator. Jennifer Pentia flew from Missoula to San Diego, where she stayed briefly with a friend. She then pedaled her bike south with $450, a tent, a sleeping bag, Bibles, and books about Mexico. Her ambitious itinerary was to take her as far south as Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara. But at the campground in California, Pentia bumped into a missionary whom she met on her prior Mexico trip. So this is a little bit extra information. He convinced her that a solo ride through Mexico was risky. Pentia got back on her bike, this time pedaling east for a tour of the Southwest. She just wanted to do some thinking, I think, said her mother, who would later receive her journals from the trip. So the thing is that other missionary is the one who convinced her not to go into Mexico. Pentia phoned her mother every few days as she rode across the desert. She rode a bus for one stretch. She rode another with a family. Oh, wow. So
now we sort of see how she might be getting into putting herself into other risky situations. Okay, the bus, not so much. But she did ride with a family at one point. Wow, thanks, Dario Caspio, Orsted Rock, Allison R., and Miscus with a cat eye donation. Yep. Boom, 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 boom. See, all of you guys together works out.
And the leprechauns wave to everyone.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Thank you.
Loves you, Bray, and everything about your channel. Continue being you and never change. You and the Freak family are awesome. Heart, heart.
Well, thanks, Miscus. Not too bad yourself. Generous freaks. See, our goal now is $20,000 donated at the end of the year. Okay? It went from 10 to 20. Because it's actually doable. And if we're even close, I'm going to just do it. I don't give a damn. So you can kind of see now where there's things that she's doing that put herself in dangerous situations. Like she rode a bus for one stretch. She rode another with a family. Okay, well, so how did that come about? You know, was she then willing to get a ride with somebody else? And when she rode with the family, right, her bike was put into that vehicle. So was there another situation? But then you say, well, then why would she leave all of her stuff at the camping ground and her helmet? So that part's a little weird, you know. You gotta admit. She told her mom she might head north to visit a friend in Concordia College in Minnesota. With winter setting in, Harris offered to buy her daughter bus or plane tickets, either home or to Minnesota. Pentia said she would decide on a plan and call again that evening. Oh boy. The call never came. Oh wow, so she called on the 17th, so something happened to her before the evening hours on the 17th. The call never came. Worry turned to panic 2 days later when Harris's birthday came and went, and still no call. Left her Bibles. Let's see. No, hold on. Where did that end that I was just reading? Oh, there it is. Belongings found. Okay. The months and years following Pentia's disappearance were nightmares for Harris. She was caring for her mother-in-law who died the same month her daughter disappeared. She struggled to convince authorities that Pentia was not a runaway. Then came a call the following September from an older New Mexico couple. They were dove hunting near the town of Hatch, 50 miles northeast of Deming, when they found Pentia's belongings piled up and covered with her tent near some mesquite bushes. The pile was about a mile off remote State Highway 26, roughly 7 miles from Hatch along Interstate 25. Maybe we can figure that out. Okay, the pile was about a mile off of a remote State Highway 26, roughly 7 miles from Hatch along Interstate 25. Oh, this is 25 right there, right? I think it said that. No, 26. No, Interstate 25. The pile was about a mile off of a remote State Highway 26, roughly 7 miles from Hatch along Interstate 25. Okay. So do you think it's, I guess it could be any direction though, right? What about this way? See, there's 26 right there, but this is hatch, so that can't be it. Yeah. That's 25. I wish they would have said what direction, but from hatch along Interstate 25, Harris believes her daughter was headed for the interstate, which would have taken her north to Albuquerque. Let's see. The pile was about a mile off of remote State Highway 26, roughly 7 miles from Hatch. I'm not sure why you typed in along Interstate 20. Okay, so Hatch is just along 25. So Highway 26. Here, let me see if I can find a better. No, I just saw a map of it. There it is. Okay. Oh, cool. Here we go. Wait, where's Deming? Oh, okay, so she's not quite there yet. So this is Deming. This must be 26 right here. There you go, 26. And they said 7 miles. Let me read that again. About a mile off of remote State Highway 26, roughly 7 miles from Hatch. Okay, let's try it like this. At 2.3, 4, 6. Yeah, right there. And so like a mile off, so somewhere around in this area right here, I would guess. And that makes sense because the mom said that she was heading towards the highway, the freeway, I mean. So that makes sense. So somewhere around in this area. And so that's 26 right there. And then this is off of 25. I think that's what the mom was thinking that she was trying to get to, maybe. Or maybe even head up that way, I don't know. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Go up like that. Sometimes I forget that I'm even doing a show. I'm just sort of thinking out loud. Okay, hold on. The couple reported the belongings to authorities and went on their way. When they returned to the area several days later, the pile was still there. They collected the belongings, oh boy, including Pentia's journals, and found Harris's phone number in the backpack. Their well-meaning gesture alerted Harris, but may have destroyed valuable evidence. Yep. Harris believes someone abducted Pentia from the road, then dumped her belongings. I don't know. They said they were stacked neatly, But, you know, that's the problem. When people think, oh, yeah, and they just start picking shit up, you know, you ruin the integrity of what it looked like, and nobody can figure out anything at that point. Her helmet was there. Her Bibles were there, Harris said. She would never have... I think she... I mean, it could be that. But it's a little bit weird to sort of dump a bunch of stuff. And why did they have her bike? It seems like she was on her bike, but then you talk about the helmet. You know, the helmet part throws you off a little bit, right? It's the red herring. To this day, Harris cries when she talks about her daughter. Yeah, a lot of what ifs out there. And that was at 2007, that one. This is from 2014. The mother's just keeping it in the news. Okay, so let's just go back again over and see if there's anything new in 2014. During the last conversation between the two, Harris said Jennifer had been convinced by her friend, another missionary, in San Diego that it was too dangerous to travel to Mexico. Jennifer had told her mother she was going to continue to bike back to her home. Harris told her daughter it was too far and she was going to buy her a bus ticket the next day. Well, I thought she was gonna call with plans, you know, and figure out the plans. The two ended the conversation with Jennifer agreeing to call her mother to collect her bus ticket. See, that's different than that other story. The call never came. I knew something had happened when she didn't call me by the 19th. That's my birthday, Harris said. Oh, so it was her birthday. Okay. I knew something was terribly wrong. She would never forget my birthday. Jennifer was last seen riding her white Fuji bicycle, carrying a backpack and camping gear on September 4th, 1992. Nearly a year later, two hunters found Jennifer's camping gear and a journal belonging to her under a tarp in a remote area between Hatch and Deming on State Road 26. Jennifer... Okay, that makes sense. Where do I have that now? So this is Deming, and that's Hatch. And I have it in between there, but, you know, I don't know if they're talking about more over here. I have it there, between there, Hatch, and Deming. But I would just say it was closer to Hatch, but who knows. And let's see, tarp in a remote area between Hatch and Deming on State Road 26. Jennifer's belongings were found approximately 46 miles northeast of Deming. Let's see if that's even remotely close. Well, that's 37 as the crow flies, but I bet you if you drove it, you know, going up here and then across like that, it'd be close. I can get a rough estimate by just going like this. And that is 41.7. So, I don't know. I don't know if I would say 47 miles. Because 47 would put you into Hatch over here. Harris said it has been difficult all these years waiting to find something out about her eldest daughter. She said her daughter would be 41 years old today. She's still looking for her 18-year-old daughter. Wow, what a nightmare. See, that's why it's so great. Even when, I mean, it sounds bad to say, but even if somebody's not alive, just finding the bones, it definitely gives them answers so that they can at least not wonder anymore. It must be like you're on pins and needles every single day your entire life when somebody's missing like that. Yeah, maybe aliens too, Vicky. We just don't know at this point. A cold case continues. So this is the latest one that I could find, 2016. As a cold case continues on for 25 years, authorities and family remain on the search for a woman who went missing in Deming in the early 1990s. After staying with friends and traveling from California, friends convinced her to refrain from traveling across the border. Yep. Let me see what the... Harrison said Pentia made arrangements to stay in Lutheran church in Deming, and she even offered... That's new information. I just presume that she wasn't... Let me just read this whole thing now. After staying with friends and traveling from California, friends convinced her to refrain from traveling across the border alone. Pentia phoned her mother, Lynn Harris, from Deming, and assured her she was on the way back. With a brief stay in Deming, she called her mother again on October 17, 1991, and informed her she would be heading back to her home in Missoula, Montana, pending one more possible stop at a friend's house. No more calls were made, and she never made it to her friend's house. I just presumed that she wasn't by a payphone and that I would have gotten a call the next day, said Harris. I was devastated because they didn't find her. It didn't make any sense. Harris said Pentia made arrangements to stay at a Lutheran church in Deming, and she even offered to buy a bus ticket for her to return home. The last phone conversation ended with Pentia agreeing to call her mother the next day to update her on the status of her trip. See, that matches more of that original. State police officials said she had also, and this is the last part of an article, also had plans to travel to Las Cruces to stay at a church in the city before heading north on her return journey, but was also not found to have made it to the church. No motive or reasoning behind Pentia's disappearance has been discovered, and the case has not seen a serious suspect detained or questioned in its 25 years. It's become a little bit more difficult, said New Mexico State Police Agent Charles. Why didn't they say L.E.? God, idiots. So, man, that's about as cold a case as you can get, don't you think? I mean, Jesus. Nobody even saw her. Nobody remembers seeing her. Somebody does, though, right? Yeah. So what did, I'm reading what Vicky said. Maybe her bike needed repairs and someone offered to fix it. Yeah, but see, those are those kind of things. That's why I always joke around about that. That's such an obscure maybe that, you can come up with a maybe of a million different things. Gosh, maybe she stubbed her toe and needed a Band-Aid and then waved down the first car driving by. And when the car pulled over, the person started handing her a Band-Aid and then grabbed the hand. How do we know that didn't happen? So basically, it's good to speculate just on the facts that we do have. And then you sort of wonder, why would she have left her helmet, her notebook, anything like that? So my theory, let's say she was on a bike and something happened to her. Well, why didn't she have her helmet with her on that little bike ride? Right? So why didn't she have her helmet? That's a weird thing. Is it likely that somebody who abducted her dumped all of her stuff by a tree like that? I don't know. So there you go. But yeah, it could have happened exactly how you said it. Maybe she wanted somebody to help. There's just zero anything pointing to that. So we're not going to get to know that. Yeah, but oh really, Saltina? So she got struck by a car, and then it ends up way off under a tree somewhere, stacked neatly with the rest of her stuff. Wow, that'd be amazing. I don't know. That one right there, and now that you've thought about it, you're joking. Yeah, because the way you wrote that, there's no way in hell that was a joke. Yeah, Barry. Skinny dipping on a gator, got her. Skinny dipping on a gator. Yeah, I don't know what the tarp part of it's about. I mean, if you were, let me ask you this. If you were a killer and placing the items there, would you actually put a tarp over it saying, hey, everybody, look? I don't see, Jenny Penny, that's exactly like what the other person said. It's just so, it could be a million things. Yeah, but then how did her, no, but you said she got a flat tire and she was trying to figure it out. Where? Okay. The campground was off the road quite a bit. So wouldn't she have been sitting there right there? Like, oh, wow, I have a flat and trying to fix it? Right. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one now. All right. So the next one almost has no information on it. Again, it's one of those ones where I always feel like, I mean, some cases just don't get covered. So this is all I got on this one. Her name is Michelle Nina Sanchez, 1999. Let me find the, is it this one? Yeah. So this is her right here. Michelle Nina Sanchez. Right there. So I don't know if she's, like, her name doesn't sound African American or black, but she sort of looks black from the angle I'm looking, you know, just the picture there. And then that would explain why, for some reason, the newspapers don't cover it quite as much, which sucks. And that is something I've noticed. And you guys have heard me say that many, many times. Okay? So, but there are a couple articles, and that's it. Woman's body found beside I-40. The body of a 20 to 30-year-old woman was found Friday near a freeway on-ramp along Interstate 40. The body was found between 6 a.m. So a freeway on-ramp, okay. The body was found between 6 a.m. and 6:30 a.m., about 10 feet off the roadway. So let's see if we can find this exact spot here. I think I can do it. All right, so we're going to go to Interstate 40. The body was found between 6 a.m. and 6:30 a.m., 10 feet off the roadway at mile marker 230. So it must be Interstate 40. Alright, so I'm just going to randomly go like this. That's Interstate 40. And then look around really quick. Sometimes you get lucky. God, what a hellhole this place is. Well, that might be winter, right? Yeah, I bet that's snow. What time is this? Yep, January 2019. I think that looks like that might be a mile marker. Oh man. I can't tell. I mean, since there's so little information on this one, I'm just going to try to find at least where she was. Bunnies are adorable. Hey, ask Anya on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She hates them. I think there's a mile marker right here. I can see it. And then we'll get an idea of how far I need to go. So that's mile marker 145. And they were saying mile marker 230. So the only way I can tell which way they're talking about, because I don't live there, is to put a pin on this mile marker. And what did we say that was again? 180? Or 130? 145, okay. So this is 145. And we're looking for 230. So 1 mile from there should be another mile marker. That should be like that. Should be another one about right there. Yeah, what the hell? So there could be another one right on this where that is. Should be one sitting right there. Of course, there's a truck blocking it. I love that. That's just my luck right there. Let's try, I'm going to do 2 miles now. Alright, well now we just hope that there isn't another truck right there. Yeah, there it is, right there. Come on, don't. And that's 43. So I went so it's the other direction. Alright. So now we know that this one's 145, right where this one starts. And it's on highway. What was it again? Yeah, 40 right there. And there's 40 again. Alright, let's just do like, so we need to go 85 miles on here. So, boom, boom, boom. Right now we've gone 16. I mean, this is all the stuff I do when I'm not even doing, you know, I'm not on the air, so I already have it. Because they don't give you, oh, go to mile marker, whatever. It sucks. It's right there. And then that is 68. 81. That's 84.9. So this should be really close to 230-ish, right around it. Oh, look at that. There's a off-ramp right there. Wouldn't that be awesome? Just to get it the first time instead of... Okay, all we're hoping, everybody, is that says 230. And that's all we care about. And would you look at that? Alright, now I can go back to the mile marker 230 State Police. So it's the roadway. Body was found between 6 a.m. about 10 feet off the roadway at mile marker 230. So let's see where the mile marker 230 is. I'm going to just go right there. I know that's exit 230, but sometimes they have a different number. Seemed about right though. I was right on the measurement there. It's just 10 feet off the roadway, off the highway. I lived in New Mexico when I was a kid. I mean, more accurately, my parents lived there. But didn't it also say something about let's see, the body, 20 to 30-year-old woman was found Friday near a freeway on-ramp. Okay, then that's what that is. So near the freeway on-ramp. So the on-ramp would mean it's either here or here, right? So it's either like right in this area or right in this area, because it's the on-ramp to the freeway. And let's see what it says on this side. If you go here, yeah. So either way, she was just, you know, I don't know what direction. They didn't say like southbound or anything. But let's see what happens on this side. Yeah. So just 10 feet off the road, either right here or right there. That's all I can do, because they didn't say if it was north or southbound or anything like that. Okay, so that's where she was found. But that's about the only way you can do it based on some of the articles that they give you. They just kind of measure things out. The State Office of the Medical Investigator estimates she died during the preceding 24 hours, and the cause of death is believed to be head trauma. It seems like truckers again now, doesn't it? Body identified. This is on about 6 days later, a woman whose body was found, they didn't know who she was originally. A woman whose body was found July 16th near a freeway on-ramp east of Klein's Corners has been identified as 19-year-old Michelle Nina Sanchez of Albuquerque. State police initially reported that the cause of death was head trauma, but declined Thursday to say how she died. State Police Lieutenant Greg Richardson said her death is being treated as a homicide. Richardson said her body was found between 6 and 6:30 a.m. along Interstate 40 near mile marker 230, where New Mexico 3 intersects with I-40. Yeah, see, there's 3, I-40, boom. So we're right in the spot. He has the office of the medical investigator estimates she died at 18 to 24 hours before her body was found. State police investigators declined to release further details, but court records show Sanchez was arrested twice last year at an Albuquerque truck stop on charges of criminal trespassing. Yeah, I was actually kind of wondering if perhaps she was a lady of the night, as it were, okay? Because that's where you end up with truckers and things like that. And that's usually some of the charges that you get, sometimes trespassing, when they don't want to give you the prostitution charge. Glenn Smith Valdez, an attorney who represented her in both cases, said he last saw his client the day before her body was found. He said she had been released from the Bernalillo County Detention Center after serving 2 days on and then I don't have the rest of it. But yeah, crazy, huh? Lizards. Okay, well that's it for that one. Doesn't that suck? And now you get a better sense as well, because she's one of the people that put herself in a dangerous situation, and then the media doesn't cover it as much, and the cases go cold really quickly. Okay, and then I'm going to do Yvonne Martinez next. This is 2003. And murder victim found near San Juan. Yvonne Martinez was found north of Espanola, October 11th. She was the wife of a man who was killed in July during an altercation at Santa Cruz Lake. So that's kind of weird. State police are investigating the murder of a 37-year-old Huachupanque woman whose husband was stabbed to death in July. So this is in August. Yvonne Martinez's body was found the afternoon of October 11th north of Espanola on Bureau of Land Management property. Police said Yvonne C. Martinez's death was a homicide. State Police Public Information Officer Robert San Ramon said there was strong physical evidence on Martinez's body and at the scene. The victim died from a very heinous and brutal act, said Sergeant Freddie Trujillo of the State Police Criminal Investigation Unit. Police are remaining quiet regarding most of the details of the grisly crime, though they said several of Martinez's family members were interviewed over the last few days. Trujillo, I don't know, said no evidence existed that could point to a suspect in the Martinez family. It was a family dispute in July that left Yvonne Martinez's husband, Johnny Martinez, dead from a stab wound during an incident in Santa Cruz Lake. During a fishing expedition, Donna Martinez and Leroy D. Martinez Sr. allegedly spurred trouble when Donna Martinez wanted to buy drugs, according to state police reports. When the younger Derek Martinez attempted to interfere, Johnny Martinez was reported to have stepped in He was then allegedly stabbed by Derek Martinez. At the time, police reports identified Donna Martinez as the girlfriend of Johnny Martinez. Yvonne Martinez later vehemently denied that her husband was romantically involved with Donna. Derek Martinez was eventually charged with an open count of murdering. I mean, it seems like there's a lot more going on in this one. Evidence at the scene strongly suggested a struggle. There was no indication of a suicide. That Martinez's death was an accidental. Let's see. Police said they believe the victim was murdered sometime after leaving the, let's see, OK Casino. Let me get that. Yeah, so last night's show I put on private. I just didn't like it, you know. And the thing is, if you don't want to miss a show, just don't miss the show, and then you can watch it, and then you don't have to get up in the morning and go, great, where's the show, where's the show, where's the show? Okay. OHKAY. And there it is. There's the casino right there. Our next step is to collect videos from the gas stations and local convenience stores. Police are reviewing video from the OK Casino to identify possible suspects. Police seek man in woman's death. An Ojo Caliente man is wanted for questioning about the homicide of a 25-year-old woman found beaten to death Wednesday morning north of Espanola. Though they stopped short of calling him a suspect, police believe Derek Lane, 20, could have information crucial to solving the homicide. We have reason to believe he was with Ariana Tuesday, said New Mexico State Police criminal investigator. What is this the right? What case is this one? Who's Ariana? Oh, this is a different case. I mean, how did it pop into here? There must be a mention of it. Hold on, let me see. I didn't want him to... Confident. Let me make sure. Let me go to the next page. I think maybe it's mentioned in here. Or maybe it just seems so similar that... There's 285 again. I don't know. I'll just leave this out. I don't know what that was related to. There might have been a reference in there, like, much like the case earlier this year, but I don't see it. So she was last seen at 1:50 a.m. outside the OK Casino, just north of Espanola, wearing a black leather jacket, faded blue jeans, and red bandana. She stood on the sidewalk and then left the parking lot walking towards town. The 37-year-old woman, whose body was found north of Espanola, was killed after a struggle with an attacker. We live in fear, Kippy Arculeta said Monday. Yeah, well, these are just, this is from 2003 and it's not solved. Thanks, Wally Gator. Yeah. So anyways, that's just another sort of messy, that one's a little bit more messy You know, that could be all kinds of stuff. Family, drugs, some sort of a casino reference. For some reason, I'm not as interested in those types. I don't know why. It just... What do you guys think? I just don't feel... I feel differently. It's the ones that they're a little bit more innocent. Even the prostitute ones. You know, they're just doing what they do and they get killed. Alright, so this next one is pretty interesting as well. It's Teal Pittington. I'm going to go turn the air conditioning on. Yeah, well, mine doesn't run 24/7 because I don't need it to. It just got warm, so now I turned it on. Okay, Santa Fe police said Friday they are investigating possible connection between the disappearance of 2 young Santa Fe women this month. Both disappeared under unusual circumstances within a 10-day period. Police found both of their cars and said they left their personal belongings in Santa Fe. A man police say was the last person known to have seen the 2 before they disappeared was arrested Thursday on an unrelated charge. He recently shared residence with both missing women. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I didn't find that out till later. I was looking at a different article and they said, wow, they knew each other. Because the other one is Tamara Britton, okay, but this one is Teal Pittington. Marion Owen Gent, 19, of 1224 Diclovina Street, was arraigned Friday in Santa Fe Magistrate Court on a charge of embezzlement. Gent and others lived in the house on Diclovina Street. Oh, let me get that. We got the address there. That's pretty sweet. Okay, hold on. So that's going to be 1224 Diclovina Street. So right here, they all lived right in that house, right there. Probably adobe. Teal Pittington was reported missing August. Let me get this part. Marion Owen Gent, 19, of 1224, was arraigned Friday in Santa Fe. Gent and others lived in the house on Diclovina Street with Pennington, the missing woman's mother said. Teal Pittington was reported missing August 18th. The 18-year-old Vogue College School of Hair Design student was last seen August 15th. Her car, a 1979 tan Honda CVCC, was discovered in the Grand Central parking lot on... So what's Grand Central parking lot? Is that still there? Yeah, Jesus, that wasn't even close. Grand Central Parking, Santa Fe. No. What happened? Sorry you had to do that? What are you talking about? Let's see. The car had been parked there since August 15th. Her car, 1979 tan Honda Civic, was discovered in the Grand Central parking lot. So how about just Grand Central? Yeah, I don't know. Really, probably isn't called that anymore. Julie Cabot, Police Chief Andrew Leba said Friday that investigators have no evidence of foul play. Cobo said her daughter moved into the house in Declavina Street about a month ago. Pittington disappeared just 9 days after 24-year-old Tamara Britton failed to return to work after making a deposit for her employer. Britton left West Coast Sound Systems to make a bank deposit for the store on August 6th. Her car was discovered within the week. I wonder if she made the deposit, though. Discovered within the week in the Santa Rosa, about 100 miles east of Santa Fe. Police found evidence that led them to believe Britton might have given birth to a stillborn baby girl whose body was found by city sanitation workers. I think that turned out to be bogus. Police have been unable to locate Britton's relatives because all of the information on her employment application was false. Jesus. Police Chief Andrew Leba said Gent also lived for a time at a house on Calacuesta where Britton is said to have lived for a while. Gent told police Britton went to New Orleans. Police have been unable to verify the information. Pittington was scheduled to graduate from Beauty College this month, Dunn said. She had plans to move to Aztec to join her mother after graduation. Dunn said Pittington called her August 15th and asked if she could spend the night with Dunn at a friend's. The two were supposed to meet after 11:30 p.m., but Pennington never showed up. The Santa Fe Crime Stoppers program this week asked the public to help finding 18-year-old Teal Pittington, missing since mid-August. This is from September 5th. Pittington, who lived at 1224 Declavina Street, was a student at the Vogue College School of Hair Design. She was scheduled to graduate this summer. She was last seen 9 p.m. August 15th by her boyfriend at the Capitol Chevron, which we now can put that in there, at 502 Old Santa Fe Trail. That's it. So right there. So she was apparently at a Chevron gas station. I don't know if that doesn't look like a gas station. Okay, well, I don't even think there's Street View here, even though they've got the 3D. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, maybe that used to be a Chevron gas station, because that's the address, 5022 Old Santa Fe Trail. So this used to be a Chevron, I guess. Her 1977 beige Honda Civic was discovered August 17th in the Grand Central parking lot on Carrillos Road. Okay, now at least we know where that is. So way over here. So there's a parking lot somewhere. Let's see. Okay. So this is a parking place right here. And it's called Cardioid Road Parking. Was it once something else? I don't see anything that says Grand Central anymore. But anyways, so her car was found somewhere in a parking garage down here. I don't know, I'll just guess this one. Just a guess. It has nothing, it's not really that important. I don't think. Yeah, whatever it is. I don't really care what it is. Let's see. She was last seen 9 p.m. August 15th by her boyfriend at the Capitol Chevron. Police said that thing is, if the boyfriend is an actual suspect, it's hard to, that's what he's saying, right? Police said the only personal item of hers known to be missing is a brown leather shoulder bag. Crime Stoppers will pay $1,000 for information leading up to an arrest. Okay. So then 3 months later, almost 4, really. There's a bunch crime. The top story is Santa Fe during 1984. There's a bunch of different missing people, but right here is hers. On August 18th, 18-year-old Teal Pittington was reported missing after she failed to meet a friend 3 days earlier. Her car was found in Grand Central parking lot on Carrillos Road, and her disappearance remains under investigation. Okay. Then, on May 12th, 1985, body thought to be woman found in culvert. A decomposed body was found in a culvert along US 285, 2 miles south of Lamy, Saturday afternoon, police said. Let's see if we have that. Now look how far away that is. Jeez. Okay, and then this is 285 here. Let's see if we can figure that out. In a culvert along US 285, 2 miles south of Lamy, Saturday afternoon. Well, it's not really... Okay, 2 miles south of Lamy. Let's see. Let's just say that somewhere down in that area, maybe. Oh, that could be a culvert right there, don't you think? No water in it right now, but it definitely goes underneath. It's like an arroyo, but I think that's a culvert right there. So let me just do a little extra flying here. I mean, I guess that could be one too, but thanks, Zozo. Yeah, it could be one too. So basically, we're not going to get to know for sure. So there's one. I guess there's 4 options. I think, the one that's closer to the... So there's like 4 different little culvert areas here. I mean, that one's way below. That's 2 miles right there. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be one of these 2 right here, don't you think? So her body was just... A body, at this point, was found right there. State Police Lieutenant Mike Montoya said 2 men who had stopped beside the highway saw the remains partly inside the cement culvert and notified police at about 3 p.m. He said the body appeared to be a woman's, judging by the clothing. Police couldn't tell whether the person died by violence. Montoya said heavy rain in the area had speeded decomposition so that investigators couldn't tell how long the body had been there. The body was taken to the office of the medical investigator in Albuquerque for autopsy. That office was closed Saturday evening, and no one could be reached for more information. Montoya said state police will work with Santa Fe City police detectives to determine whether the body might be that of any woman reported missing in the area. Okay, then 2 weeks later, police identified body as missing 18-year-old. A body found earlier this month near Lammy has been identified as that of Teal Pittington. The state office of the medical investigator said Pennington, 18, was reported missing last August by a fellow student at Santa Fe Beauty College. 2 men found the body partially inside a culvert May 11th, south of Lammy on US 285. Tests show Pittington was strangled. The office reported Thursday. I mean, don't you think those 2 deaths of Tamara Britton, or she's missing, but it's the same thing. There's no way in hell that you're going to have people that are that close to each other and all of a sudden, boom, they're just not related. It's very unlikely that they're not related. Tests show Pittington was strangled. The office reported Thursday. The date of death had not been determined. Police are considering the case a homicide. Well, yeah. Usually when you determine it's a strangulation and you're in a culvert, it's going to be a homicide. I'm glad that you're considering it that. Thank you very much for your, quote, consideration. State police are investigating because the body was found outside city limits. Pittington was 2 weeks away from graduating from the beauty college when she was reported missing. Her disappearance was investigated along with the disappearance of another woman from the Santa Fe area, Tamara Britton, who was reported missing 2 weeks before Pittington, and they actually knew each other. And they were roommates at one point. In August 1984, police questioned Mario Owen, Gent, who knew both women. Police said Gent was using Pittington's car, which was found abandoned in a Carrillo Road parking lot 4 days after she was reported missing. Yeah, I think they know who the guy is. They just can't pin it on him. Gent knew both women and was released after he passed polygraph tests. Oh, those famous, incredibly accurate polygraph tests, everybody. Police are trying to locate a former Santa Fe man for questioning in connection with the death of Teal Pittington, or Pettington. I'm having a hard time saying that name. Pittington. The 18-year-old Santa Fe Beauty College student whose decomposed body was found 2 weeks ago in a culvert south of Lamey. Detective Sergeant Ramiro Flores said police want to question 20-year-old Mario Owen Gent about the death of Miss Pittington, who initial reports indicated was strangled and left about a mile south of the New Mexico's Girl Ranch on US 285. Okay. So that's what I was looking up originally. I couldn't find... That Girl's Ranch is somewhere totally different now. Yeah, because if you think about it, this is 1984. Yeah. I think we got it dialed in there. Let's see. Isn't this where we were? We will get together with state police. Miss Pittington's body was identified by medical investigators earlier this week on the basis of dental records from Alaska. Flores said Miss Pittington's mother, Julie Kobos, provided police with the records in March when a body similar to Miss Pittington was found near Las Cruces. Oh, yes, this is the one that we were on here. Okay. Gent, who police described as Miss Pittington's live-in boyfriend, was questioned last August when the woman was reported missing by a friend. So it's weird that she's missing and he's using her car, right? So how did you get her car? After taking 2 polygraph tests, Gent was released and returned to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where his parents live, Flores said. Gent's polygraph test will be reevaluated, he said. Before we had a missing person and now we have a dead person, Flores said. We will get together with the state police and figure out a plan of action. We will also meet with DA and decide what to do. Miss Pittington's body was identified by medical investigators earlier this week on the basis of dental records from Alaska. Flores said Miss Pittington's mother, Julie Kobos, provided police with the records in March when a body similar to Miss Pittington was found near Las Cruces. You know, it's funny, I actually found that story and I thought it was the same one. I mean, it was crazy. It was like same age and everything. Santa Fe Police Detective Sergeant Ramiro Flores says police want to question a 20-year-old man in the death of Santa Fe Beauty College student whose decomposed body was found in a culvert. Teal Pittington, 18, was reported missing last August, and police say they questioned Mario Owen Gent at the time. Flores said Gent was released after he took 2 polygraph examinations and that he returned to Philadelphia. Pittington's body was found 2 weeks ago, about a mile south of New Mexico Girls Ranch on US 285. Okay, now this is an article that I was looking at because it made you think, wow, is there like I think the boyfriend, probably has something to do with this one, but in late August 1984, Teal Pittington, who would have graduated from Vogue College School of Hair Design. After that, she planned to move with her mother to Aztec, New Mexico, but Pittington never made it to her graduation. She disappeared early in the month and was never seen again until her body was found in a culvert near Lammy 9 months later. On August 15th, she had called a female friend whom she arranged to meet at about 11:30 p.m. that night. Pennington never showed up. Her tan 1979 Honda Civic was discovered in the parking lot of now Walmart. There we go. Awesome. That's going to be the same. All right. Now look how close that was. Oh man. Jeez. So this used to be a parking garage right there. Okay, got that. about 2 blocks from where Pennington had been living. Really? I don't know. I don't think so. It's not really 2 blocks. A little bit further than that. Police said the car had been there since August 15th. Early in the investigation, police had a suspect in Pennington's disappearance, a man who had lived with her and other people at the house in the 1200 block of Declavina Street. He was said to have been seen using Pennington's Honda after her disappearance. Yeah, I mean, that's just absolutely damning at that point. How did you get a key? The man was finally cleared of any wrongdoing and left the state. Well, he wasn't really cleared. He got a polygraph test. The same man had also lived recently with a woman who called herself Tammy Britton, an employee of West Coast Sound. Britton disappeared several days before Pittington. So if you don't think that's related, man, I mean, the odds of that are 1 in a trillion. Britton's car was eventually discovered at a truck stop, so this is the other girl, in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Police later learned Britton was using the name of a dead infant from Wisconsin. Wow. I'm trying to see, how was I saying that name? Yes, Britton, right? Loan application, she had listed she had dead baby father as her own. She has never been seen or heard from again. At first, police thought there might be a connection between the two disappearances, but no link was ever established. What do you mean there was no link established, you idiots? You just did. You just established a link. At first, police thought there might be a connection between the two, but they couldn't establish a connection. The next spring, 2 men who had stopped their car along US 285, 2 miles south of Lammy, spotted what looked like a body lying in a cement culvert nearby. The body was identified as Pittington. Medical tests showed that she had been strangled with her own bra. There had been other unsolved killings of young women in the Santa Fe area prior to Pittington's death. Terry Mulvaney was stabbed and strangled in her Southside Santa Fe apartment less than 2 months before Pittington's disappearance. However, Pittington's killing was the beginning of a trend in which young women are killed in remote areas near Santa Fe. Other victims include Susan Laporte, 25. She was strangled with a cord and possibly sexually molested in December 1985. She was missing for several days before her body was found near the La Tierra subdivision, northwest of the city. Roberta Michelle Montoya, 20. She disappeared in July 1986. Her body was found in April 1987 off Old Las Vegas Highway. The cause of death is unknown. Gloria Jean Maris, 25, missing since August 1986. Her body was found at the dump in La Cienega in July 1987. She died from gunshot wounds. Sheriff Benji Montano has said he has a suspect in that killing. Michelle Quintana, 24, last seen August 1987. Montana has said he suspects foul play, though no remains have been found. Annette Gonzalez, 19, she disappeared in July 1988. Her skeletal remains were discovered off Las Vegas Highway early this year. It was close to the site where Montoya remains were found 2 years before. At the request... See, I actually have this one pulled aside because I kind of want to look couple of these up. At the request of District Attorney Chet Walter, a gag order was imposed on medical investigators to prevent disclosure of the cause of her death. Tracy Barker, 22, who was beaten to death with a rock off Richards Avenue south of the city limits on May 2nd. She had last been seen at a Pizza Hut about 6 hours before her body was found by a motorist. Her car was found in her driveway. A lot of crazy shit, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I mean, that's wild right there. 2 of those seem like maybe a serial killer since their bodies were in the same spot-ish. Either that or there's just so many people getting killed that eventually you start overlapping without knowing that somebody else put a body there before. Yeah. So anyways, you guys, that is it for me tonight. Thanks for the little mini waves here and there. I appreciate it. At least we got some funds for the end of the month. Kind of a slower night in here, I guess. So thank you to Zozo, Kit Kat, One Sly Angel, Michelle Nicholas, Dadio Caspian, Nurses Ron. See, the scary part for me is, which I appreciate, but it's always the same people in here that are contributing for the end of the month and everything, and my channel in general. And I don't want you guys to be like, you get burnt out. I mean, it's like there's 400 people watching sometimes, and you'd think they'd send in a $5 cup of coffee every once in a while, right? Yeah. For the 3-hour shows that I'm doing. And then that way at the end of the month, we're trying, right now we've donated $10,600. My goal now is $20,000 at the end of the month. So, but I appreciate all you guys a lot that are doing it, but, some other people should probably be helping out a little bit, Right. Okay, so thank you to Zozo, Kit Kat, One Sly Angel, Michelle Nicholas, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Zozo, Miss Skis, Sarita, Chrissy Paradis, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Chrissy Paradis, Allison R, Layla, my Layla, Lay Dobby, Raven 187, Chrissy Paradis, One Sly Angel, Cairo, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Jessica Schubach. Yeah, that damn hurricane, I'll tell you. Allison R, Rebecca N, Kit Kat, Wally Gator, Sarita, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Allison R, Miss Skis, Roe, Wally Gator, Zozo, and Dadio Caspian Horses Rock. So I hope you guys thought that was interesting. Took a while to look up all that stuff. But. Oh, and then thank you to, there you go. Well, thank you, Julie, on PayPal. It was a cat eye donation. Thank you. So that'll work out for part of the bonus at the end of the month for the... Yeah, I always think those are... I mean, those are cases you just would never hear about, right? Because they don't have all the cool zingers and, all the neat little stuff, those conspiracy stuff going on, right? But all of those need to be talked about as well. I think they were onto something when the guy that they polygraphed. Let's just put it that way, okay? I really think they were. Even though my neck is stinging right now, I'm gonna do I guess the glue came out of the wound, so it's still draining, a little bit. Kind of sucks. Yeah, he's in Pennsylvania now, but seems like that should have been a red flag. Like, wow, why would he move so far away so quickly? Like, why would he do that? Yes, hurricane zone people, stay safe, as I said earlier.
Banana? What the hell is that?
It's whatever the hell I want it to be. Okay, John boy? Shut the hell up, man. Whee!
All right, everybody. Well, make sure that you wash your hands, that you're maintaining your social distancing, and that you're wearing a mask. Do not go anywhere in public without wearing a mask, okay? Just don't do it. Don't be one of the idiots that think, oh, it's okay, okay? Put something over your mouth and protect other people. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, projector. I'm a certified human lie detector.
What the hell?
Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector.
John boy, John boy, John my boy, John boy, John boy.
Professor Gregor's gonna give another lecture.
Nobody likes John boy, nobody likes John boy,
And
nobody
I'm
likes
always
John
gonna
boy.
be a pup protector, fool deflector, interceptor.
Wow,
And I'm
so
meaner than a
mean.
spectre with a vector on his pector. With
Nobody
all
likes
the
John
structure.
boy, nobody
Just
likes John
remember, I'm
boy.
a
He was walking down the street and I
I
had to
have
stop.
no
Turn up the radio
I'm the
and drop the
pretender.
top.
And I'll serve it to you straight
Wow,
out
hey,
of
is that a new
the
rap there?
And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
That was so mean, Mary Lou. You said nobody likes me.
I did say that, because nobody does like you, John boy. You're so mean all the time.
I am not mean. You just get too offended. Oh, good night, Mary Lou.
Gosh, John boy, I didn't realize you were so emotional. Okay, sorry, John boy. Good night, John boy.
Good night, Mary Lou.
Poor John Boy, I tell you what, man. Okay. All right, everybody. Be safe out there. Hopefully tomorrow's a better day.